Welcome to the Shermichael Singleton Show. I'm your host, Shermichael Singleton, and Democrats are at it again. No surprise, of course. They're claiming that Musk, Trump, and Republicans are stealing from the American people. Can you believe that? I mean, they're literally accusing Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, the sitting president, and presumably every single Republican in the House and in the Senate of stealing from the American people. Why? Well, because Republicans want to cut the federal budget, which most Americans actually want. It's desperately needed, but Democrats aren't talking about that. Now, here's an opportunity for Democrats to work with Republicans to cut federal spending, to lower the deficit. The debt, and we're going to put the debt clock up now, it's $36 trillion and ticking by the second. Every day you work hard, every day your children work hard if they're old enough to work, a good percentage of every penny will have to go to the federal government to pay down the $36 trillion in debt that we're currently spending. I mean, you're looking at it by the second. By the second, hundreds of thousands of your hard-earned cash is being wasted. And all Trump and Musk with Doge and Republicans are trying to do is to say, look, Democrats, enough is enough. This is unsustainable. We can't keep working like this. We can't keep living like this. It's almost like going to Las Vegas with an unlimited amount of cash, presumably, right? And just keep going and going and going. And then when the folks at the hotel walk up to you and say, sir, you spent too much in a casino, maybe you should go back up to your room. You say, no, I'm going to keep going. And they just say, all right, keep going. Don't worry about it. I guess we'll just get the bill at the end. It doesn't work that way. It never works that way. Yet in our country, it works that way. It works as if you're playing Russian roulette, but not with their money, with your money. And that's all they really think about. So while they go home to their fancy houses with their drivers, they send their kids to the best schools in the world, they don't really care about what happens to your dollars. They don't care about the fact that at the current debt levels that we're seeing on this clock, it will cost the average American about $100,000 to be able to pay it off. That's more than what a significant percent of people actually make, including the middle class. But our political leaders aren't particularly worried about that. They don't really care because, again, they're okay while you're not. Now, I'm not going to pretend that Republicans haven't also contributed to the debt over time. We have. The so-called fiscally conservative party has not always been fiscally conservative. No surprise there. And in the past, I have critiqued Republicans on doing so. We have added to the debt. But the fact that we have had a light bulb go off and we're now saying, you know what? We can't keep doing this. We can't just keep necessarily giving tax cuts to very privileged and wealthy people or big businesses at the expense of working class people in this country. The working class who, by the way, elected Donald Trump. We can't keep living as if we have an unlimited credit card. Hell, I wish I had an unlimited credit card. I think most of you would too. I'd probably be driving the Ferrari that I love so much. But I have to live in reality. And most of you do as well. When you sit down at the kitchen table, you have to plan every single expense every week because you don't really know if you're going to be able to afford groceries at the end of the week. You don't really know if you can pay that extracurricular fee for your son who may like baseball. Maybe he's the next Sammy Sosa. But Congress doesn't live in that reality. They don't have to think about the budget every week or every month. And even when they do pass bills, these continuing resolutions, it's not like they're actually balancing any damn thing. They just keep spending. They say, we're going to kick the can down the road. We'll eventually get to it. But they never do. But yet, our Democratic friends wants you to believe that it's Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, Donald Trump, the sitting president, and every single Republican's fault because they're trying to steal. So it's their fault and they're stealing from you. That makes no sense. But I want to roll this clip of Hakeem Jeffries. He's the Democratic congressman out of the state of New York. He's now the minority leader, replaced Nancy Pelosi. Just take a look at what he had to say. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Let's roll the tape.
They've done nothing as it relates to lowering the high cost of living.
Let's pause. Let's pause there. Now, he talks about lowering the cost of living. However, where was Hakeem during the Biden-Harris administration, when the cost of living was through the roof. Let's look at the price of milk. This was increases from February 2020 until last year. Milk increased 20%. Bread, 30% increase. Eggs, I love my scrambled eggs and my omelets, 50%. Gas, particularly if you live in California, that's the liberal bastion, this great benevolent state of progressivism and equality and equity, as they would like for you to believe. If you believe it or not, you perhaps are delusional, because I don't. 71%. Where was Hakeem then? Hakeem didn't really seem to care when you couldn't afford to buy eggs to cook breakfast for your kids. He didn't care. Pull that video back up. Don't play it. Just pull it back up. Hakeem didn't care. He's standing there as if he's the moral authority. But I guess it wasn't that big of a deal during the Biden-Harris administration. He didn't care when prices rose approximately 20%. During the last administration, inflation surged, with sources like The Atlantic, that's a very liberal outlet, and Forbes reporting that increases in the cost of living again went up by 20% since Biden-Harris took office in January 2021. Look at the price increase from February through the last year of the Biden-Harris administration. We put the numbers up. Prices rose by approximately, again, 20%, affecting every essential commodity. Again, gas, groceries, electricity, rent. And this surge in prices led to real decline in real wages and benefits by 3.4%. So what that essentially means is that paychecks did not stretch as far as they previously did. But Hakeem didn't say anything then. So why in the hell should we listen to Hakeem today, when things were clearly terrible under the last administration, which happened to be a Democratic administration? He's a part of the Democratic Party, so maybe Hakeem just looked the other way. Maybe it was okay when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was running up the debt, when Bidenomics and Kamalanomics didn't work. He didn't care about that. He didn't care about the fact that, let's look at these numbers. Cereal and bakery products, 26% increase. Meats, poultry, fish, again, and eggs, 23%. Beverages, 22.4%. Dairy, 16%. Fruits and vegetables. I like my fruits and vegetables, and the doctors always tell you when you have kids, give your kids fruits and vegetables. I just had a daughter, so I'm always hearing that every time we go to the pediatrician. 13.2%. Now, if you're a hard-working, average-working American family, how in the hell are you paying for that? The reality is you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And ladies and gentlemen, they don't particularly care if you struggle. They don't care if you struggle because they can afford it. They're making six figures on your back, your dime. They're rich donors and the rich lobbyists who fund their political campaigns make sure that these people have the best lives in the world. They're sipping on, great champagne and great whiskeys and caviar. Who doesn't like caviar if you can afford it? That's the life that these folks live. While you go to work every day and you bust your ass working 40, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. They go to work and sit in, fancy offices with staffs of 15 people, reading everything for them and just saying, hey, Congressman, just sign off on this. Okay, done. Congressman, vote yay or nay on this. Okay, done. And they spend the rest of their time hobnobbing with the rich and famous while not giving a damn about you and your bottom line.